to start out with the things that affect all teachers, then move on to the middle school teachers, and finally the high school teachers. These are the ones that can mess everybody up. These are the ones that aren't working this time, so we're going to go through it in that order. Okay. So the first thing all teachers need to know is that you can't use Land School unless you've gone through training, and I add you to the active directory to say you're a Land School teacher. If you're not a Land School teacher, every time you open it up, it's not going to work. So you have to watch this video, tell me you've watched the video or the other Land School video, and you have to email me and say, I promise I have watched all the training and will not mess anyone else up, because you can mess other people up if you don't watch the training. So that's the first thing. Second thing, which is also all teachers, is by default, all teachers, everyone, starts out on Land School on Channel 1. Okay? You don't want to be on Channel 1. Channel 1 is not really a channel. It's the default channel. Okay? All the 2019 kids are on Channel 19. The 20s are on 20, 21, 22. And then after that, every other computer should be on the channel for its room. Okay? So this is what affects high school teachers, and the room numbers and putting on the right channels is what affects really middle school teachers and everybody else. So if you open up Land School, I'm going to go ahead and open up Land School, and if you have not set it up right, come on, I got
it's already open.
It's already open down here. There. If you haven't set it up right, you probably see Carmen Kennel's laptop down there because she uses a student laptop and we've never taken it off. And then these library ones don't go on a specific channel because they're sign-out ones. And there's one other one not on a channel, and these are on Channel 1. So the first thing you have to do is get yourself on the right channel. So if you go to Administer and go down to Preferences, the channel you should be on should be your room number. I should be on 203, and I should be able to hit Apply. But you can't do that!
Why not?
Because you're not able to change channels yet. How do I learn how to change channels, Dan?
Please tell me more.
I would love to know.
So you
run that batch file.
If you go to your network drives, one of them is the one that says Installs. Okay? And everybody should have an Installs folder when they log on. If you don't, there's something wrong with your scripting. Everyone should have an iDrive. Do you have an iDrive, Jonathan? Have you ever noticed you have an iDrive?
Don't know.
You're supposed to have an iDrive.
I do. I've noticed.
And on that iDrive, you have all these things that you can click on to update your software. So if I got a note that said my Java needed to be updated, all I'd have to do is click on that little Java right there, and it would go through and update my Java without giving me any viruses or anything else. It says, yes, do you want to update? So that's what this is for. These are for if you ever need to update that, or if I don't have that on there. Obviously, mine needed to be updated. If it's already updated, it won't do that.
Oh.
But in this folder, there's also a folder called Land School and one called CanoScan 25. If you've got a CanoScan 25 scanner, that's a software to install it. Land School, right there, has two files in it. One of which says Enable Channel Select. If you can't change your channel, you just double-click on Enable Channel Select. You say yes. And then the next time you come in here and go to Administer and Preferences, this will no longer be grayed out. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's so students can't change channels and they don't have access to the Installs folder. That's just for employees. And it's so we can change the channel we want to be on. Okay? So you want to be, first of all, on the channel corresponding to your room number. If you're a middle school teacher, all of the computers in your room should automatically be scripted to go to your room numbers channel. So if you weren't on the channel and they all were, you didn't see them. Okay? There's another caveat for middle school people that I have to show the one middle school teacher that's here that affects her. Okay? But this is the main thing that affects all the laptops. The laptops are all scripted. All the middle school carts are scripted to go to the channel for the room they belong in. So really, for a middle school teacher, if you get yourself on the right channel, you should have, and I'm going to switch channels right now to Mr. Studebaker's lab. If you have your stuff set up for the right channel, when you're coming up, you should come up and see the computers in your room. And you shouldn't have to do anything to bring anybody else into your room.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Now, that being said, I have a caveat for middle school teachers. Okay? If you're a middle school teacher and you've got these in your room, okay? These can't script to a machine because they're connected to a server, and the server doesn't know where this is. because the server has them spread out between rooms. So if, Sharon, you want to see your students on LAN school, that's what that other file is for. That select TS client. You double click on that. I don't know if it'll even work on this computer. Let's see what it does. It doesn't. You'll double click on that. You have to do it on every machine in your room, and it'll say what channel you're on. You put whatever your room number is, and then you don't even have to log off. You go to the next computer and log on, and that'll still be open, and you double click on it again and put in the room number. You just keep logging on and double clicking on that and putting in your room number, and it tells the server that this machine goes with that channel. There's no way for me to set that up. So middle school teachers that have thin client labs have to set that up on their own to get it to work. So that's all. You have to log in every single one of them, and it has to be you because the students don't have administration rights. So if I log on and open this up, I double click, log on, double click, and I just walk around the room setting up all my thin clients.
You only have to do that once.
I only have to do that once until I re-image, and then it wipes the file out, and you have to do it again.
Right.
But it doesn't take more than 10 minutes. So, anyways, that's what those two files are, and you need those two files in order to set
So you have to
yourself
set
up.
up one just for thin client?
Yes, only for thin clients.
So if you're a teacher and you have a computer for some reason that's in your room that's not
Well, it
showing up,
didn't even really do it. I just tried to do it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if you have 24 computers in your room and you look up on your LAN school screen and you see 23 computers and you realize, hey, number 24 is not showing up, then what?
Well, you know what? I could put that other set channel on there. I didn't even think about that anyone would ever want to use that. Because there's also a utility that says set channel. I'm going to go ahead and copy that over to that install too. Because that one, if you had one laptop that wasn't set up, you can do the set channel, and it has to be a student device, and it would go through and say what channel are you, and you would
On the student device.
on the student device and say what's the channel.
There's people that actually ask for that.
However, it shouldn't be the case. If they're in the right folder, really they should just have to GP update them and they should work.
I was like, if we were all these shouldas and shouldn'ts,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have a
It
job.
should just, I don't know, that's what that's supposed to do. I haven't actually used that one because I've always done it through the network. I'll have to try that. Just see.
Try that.
Well,
on.
I have those
Don't work.
three that were configured by.
So at this point, if I was a middle school teacher, I'm done with the configuration part because I don't have to make class groups and I don't have to pull in students. So right now, I'm going to let Dan show you some of the things that LAN School does because Dan uses it on a daily basis and I do not. And then I'll show you how to do the student list.
Okay, then click on that one thing.
What?
Just kidding you. I know you're making me come on there.
Right.
Well, it just doesn't make sense me showing how to use something that you use all the
Yeah,
time.
you
So
use it
does
every day.
does it
Yeah.
connect to automatically to the computers in my room? Just
You will have to make a class list, and we're going to do that last. That's the
Yeah.
last thing we're going to talk about is how to do a class
Yeah.
list. Because that doesn't apply to anybody but high school teachers.
Correct.
Only high school teachers
Which is
would
what
have to do a class
that's when I
list.
pass it off to you.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I don't particularly use that one. Now, as far as what things, some of the things that you're probably going to want this for the most is controlling those other computers. So there's, because of the way this is up here, there's things that you can actually do from limiting apps, limit print, limit drives, so forth. All this stuff that you can actually do.
Let's start
And
out basic, Dave. Just show them how to organize and view
Oh.
computers.
one of the nice
One
things
thing at a
is
time.
if you were you have your classroom set up a particular way. The chairs are where the chairs actually are. All right, so you're going to want to be able to look at these and be able to look at the screen real quick to know that's the computer I want to look at. All right, because if you keep them at this, for one, they're kind of tiny. All right, when you hover over the top of them, of course, they will expand so you can see more. But in your view options, you can go for details on here, which actually would allow you to see any of the stuff that's currently running on them, last website and last question, which means that they can actually also, you can talk back and forth to them if you want to. This, of course, is the small one. There's medium, large, extra large, best fit. Best fit has to do with whatever resolution you have on your screen. All right, in order to be able to see those things. The classroom layout, almost everybody has some sort of classroom layout. If we click on this one here, this one allows you to then actually grab a hold of these and move them around to wherever they happen to be located, as long as you don't put it on top of. You can see here when I actually click on it, see how the tab actually goes below. That's where, of course, where the student's name is going to be at. If you bring it and slide it over the top of the other one, they will trade places with one another. All right, but you can actually build stuff up. I was going to do this kind of quickly here. Is, you know, I've got, let's say I got a cluster of 4 kids over there, and, you know, another cluster over here. And when you actually set this up on your own, Land School, whenever you click to classroom layout, it'll instantly jump to there. Now, it may take a couple days to actually do that, depending if you have kids absent and so forth, and to know exactly whose computer is where. If you have kids that are on laptops and stuff, like, you know, high school does, if they're still sitting in the same location when they come in, it still should actually go to the same spot. But I think that their Brian, is it correct that their IP address would actually slightly change every time they come back in on a laptop? Or
Yeah, and this is really best for rooms like Behringer's and Mrs. Harkrider's and yours, that it's a lab where the kids are always in the same place.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense for Jonathan or Judy to go and set up a classroom roster, because every single time you bring in kids, they're going to be in different places. And I thought that was fun. I don't think that if you save a classroom list, it puts them in the same place, does it?
I don't know. I don't. Seems like it didn't save my configuration.
Yeah, I don't think when you open up a new
In
class,
the-
it just
in
throws
the
the new
LSC
people up
file.
there.
I don't know if it did.
yeah, well,
pretty
that's
sure
the thing
it
is
I
that,
don't think it did.
you know, having to actually import the file that you do for high school
Yeah, I
for
don't
those
think
kids
it's
in the
safe.
list may not work.
I don't mess
But
with it.
for a middle school teacher,
Well, yeah, because when
It
you log
might-
in, it's
Yeah.
going to be in that configuration.
Right, and you know, for me, it's nice because boom, 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 I know exactly where everybody's at,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it works. It works basically like your attendance list would be,
That's
because
true.
you're like
here's
right
where
there.
it would work for a middle school teacher, though,
Yeah.
because they have the same 24 laptops in the room every time. If they arrange the kids by laptops, if you said laptop 1 through 4 is here and 5 through 8 is here, you could make it so that's always laptop 1. I mean, depending on it, it would mean you have to do a seating chart by laptop.
Yeah.
But you could do
Yeah.
it so that it's always in the same place, since they're the same devices in your room every single time.
But I would have to say is, you know, for anybody basically looking at this a little bit large was, in order to be able to see the stuff, working in it, I was like, can I go on to the?
Go back in there, though, Dan. I think
Yeah,
I
and
just saw-
I logged onto this computer so you could do stuff to it. That's why I remoted to one of your
Okay.
computers and
Go
logged
back
on, so
in there. I
it's-
think there was a save layout option.
Oh,
I just happened to notice it was not there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That save layout. I
Okay,
don't-
so
I didn't
maybe
see
you
that.
can
I didn't
import
see
your
that
class
before.
and then save the layout.
Yeah, I haven't
I've
tried
never
that.
tried to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously my class is small. so-
now there's also the snap to grid and this one, so that you know it kind of assists you a little bit on laying it out if you happen to have one of those, you know, on it. Of course, you know, if you click off of it and move the ones around. Of course, this doesn't work if you have a really large view, because you can't see the whole class at one time.
Yeah.
And also, is it if you if you have 2 monitors and you're sliding it between monitors, depending on the resolution, they won't all pop up at the same time. Even if you have your class layout up, if your resolution's off because you've changed it because you went from your big screen, you know, to your screen on your computer, it will actually truncate it, and you'll end up. It looks like you lose people. But if you actually just drag it back over to the other display, boom, it pops back up again. So it doesn't automatically shift things, because if you're in class layout, it keeps it at that particular one. Now for this, Brian was like, you know, take for instance, like Brian's working on this here. I was like, there's once you've actually clicked, see, I double clicked on it like that, or I can take it off But basically, by double clicking it, I enter into the control mode here of either viewing or remote controlling. You can actually right click on it, and also
Double-clicked on the screen, or you?
yeah, if you
Just double click
on the kid like that, of course, you know what he just did.
Should just pop up.
Yeah,
Or right-click,
I
you
don't know.
said.
Would you just actually do?
Right.
I didn't do anything. I'm not doing anything on
Alright.
that computer.
So you said double-click or right-click?
We
Yeah.
lost the view.
I lost your view.
It says remote controlling, but there's nothing there. Active display. 1, 2.
Is that one that you have on there actually that one, or is it the one behind it?
No, it's the one in your room. I'm remoting to the one in your room.
Oh,
Maybe it doesn't like me remoting to one that I'm remoting to try to make it so you can see one that.
we
I don't know if
we
you
might
saw
be
it.
opening a Pandora's box
I
of
saw
remoting,
it.
but it doesn't matter too much.
Okay.
As you know, stuff that you can actually do within this. If you're looking for evidence of somebody doing something, if say like here on Brian, you can see actually his is not responding now because he's working on it. But if I was to go into it at a view mode, the view mode would actually allow me to basically watch what's going on without actually interacting with it. However, you could also interact with it. You can go into controlling mode and actually make it so, as you saw, the one smaller little menu showed up to the side that controls the speed of the refreshment and so forth. You can actually stop them from touching, using the mouse or keyboard, and then you basically completely take over their computer. Or you can actually work together. Sometimes, if they don't know that you're doing it and they're trying to work against you, you might as well just try to click and lock them for a minute, just until you both are on the same plane with it.
Where did you go to get that?
That's in that
Yeah.
controlling remote.
Yeah, so if
control.
I was into controlling like this,
Yeah.
here, here, he can actually, if he was still on that same computer wherever he's at, I could actually, disable his keyboard and mouse or allow him to move around, which he's moving around, I'm moving around at the same time. On that.
But you're not seeing his screen. When do
I
we see
know.
his screen?
Yeah, well, I would see his screen, but
I think it's just because I'm trying to do something else on my other one.
yeah. Now, if you leave this unclicked, like this, or without the check mark on it, and stop, when you come back to that kid, it's going to be also unlocked. So they'll still be roaming around. So if you have it as a default, that it's always locked whenever you click on them because you want to stop them. It'll stay that way every time you go back in.
So you have to unlock it.
It comes in usually locked. So
There
see,
you go.
like here now he's locked. So if Brian was to actually try to move stuff on here, but you can see I'm moving stuff on his screen. All right, but he's not. But now if I actually take it off, Brian could actually move around if he wanted to.
Okay, so.
But he's actually doing something else right now, so he missed his intro.
Okay, so at the end of the bell, then, if we have them locked, does it automatically unlock when they leave the?
No.
No, as a matter of fact, if you
That's one of the problems.
Yeah.
Be careful to do.
So you have to go back in remote control and unlock it.
yes.
Or just dismiss
Because
it live.
basically, if you actually, there's a bunch of different things you can do on this one as far as, you go back to all of your kids. So usually you only have one kid that you're actually locked into,
Yeah.
or a group of kids of which you have them in your class. So in the high school, you've actually created a list, you import the list, and it pulls the kids into your class. Then when class is over, you have to release those kids. Otherwise, when they go to the next class, all right, they're still stuck in your room.
Okay.
And you won't like it, and then the next teacher doesn't like it. The next teacher can't get the kids, and all of a sudden you have way too many kids.
Can you just hit a button, something like disable everybody or enable
Well,
everybody?
If you actually come back out to here,
Instead, do each
all
one.
right, under this one, there is his class list, which is, he doesn't actually have one right now. If he had one under here, under class list, all right,
Dismiss it right there. See where it says.
yeah, see it, dismiss current
Dismiss
one.
current
So
class.
see, he'd actually
And that
load
one do
one.
everything?
Dismiss
Yeah.
will dismiss your whole group, so you can add another group.
Yeah, so see if
So
I
you
do
should
it.
do that. You have to do that after every.
That's the
Yes.
big thing that's
At the
different
end
for
of
high
class.
school teachers. We have to make class lists, we have to load our class lists and we have to dismiss our class lists. Because if you don't dismiss them, when they come into Jonathan's room, he can't get them. They'll still be on your computer, your display, and he'll be like, why didn't this work?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really the only difference between the usage, is the fact that high school teachers have to load class lists and middle school teachers do not.
Why is ours different?
Because they've got laptops and they walk around between rooms.
Oh.
And I can't put them all in.
Yes, what you're saying. They
Yeah,
go
they
to
don't
the
move around
laptops.
together. Theirs are just the room stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Now a fun
They're
one.
doing machines, you're doing people.
Yeah.
Now, a fun one for middle schoolers, and I don't know if this would work, Brian, you have to chime in on this one, is ye old shutdown. If I wanted to, from where Brian is at right now, all right, and Brian's the only one I have selected, I go into shutdown, I can actually click and log him off from wherever he's at.
Yeah.
So, like, this literally is in 412, which is on the other side of the building right now, but I can.
Why don't you use that when you want to restart all your PCs?
I do.
Oh, do you?
How do you think I found that thing?
Okay.
Where are you clicking those two little arrows at the top right?
Yeah, unfortunately, they're going to end up being there anyways, but there's usually a little bit more stuff, but the resolution's a little bit off because we're
I
on
was going to say,
projector.
there's usually more buttons. Up
Yeah,
there.
there's more
what
buttons,
button is it
but
we click to get all this
yeah,
far right arrows?
the limit, these
same
these
thing.
buttons right here
Those
are
gonna be
normally
on
there,
Yeah.
all right?
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll be
Yeah.
up across the top.
Yeah, they'll,
Next to blank screen and.
But where are you getting the,
But yeah.
oh, but
Shut down.
right now
dismiss.
he's
yeah,
right now he's clicking on those.
yeah, they'll be, I think they're dots that are actually over there, but
It's on the far
it's a
right
very
side.
far right, it just expands the menu, and you'll see file shut down, and then if you have an individual or individuals, you could actually select your entire class, go over there, click shut down, click log off, and all your kids automatically are logged off their computers. So if you have a habit of kids who stay logged in and stuff, this is like, and it's a nice, easy way if you have a lab type situation is, hey, you're all done, move on to the next class.
Or to lock them up if you need them to pay attention to what you're doing.
Yes.
Show them how to send them to URL to an open application. Because those are things that I think a high school teacher, well, any
Yeah.
teacher would want to know how to do.
So under demonstrate, you can actually run a program on a student machine, all right? Like here. And this is where you'd actually have to type in the one to actually open up, like Brian was saying, something in Word or so forth, or you can browse through the stuff that you actually already have available on here, and then click OK, and that would actually then run on theirs here.
so it's a wireless connection from your computer to theirs. You can show them Word documents that you have, or you can.
Yes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
Show
though,
them you can make anything that you have on your computer show up on
yeah, if you look at Brian, where Brian is right now, I can actually I can even go up here to demonstrate, all right, and actually show my window.
Or mine.
Yeah.
Like if you want to have a student show what they're doing, see where it says show student screen. So that means everybody will see the screen he currently has highlighted. So everybody in the class, if he hit that one, would get that screen showing up on everybody else. And warned you, are you sure you want everybody to see that screen?
Yeah, you
But-
gotta make sure it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily the time
Hey, look
to make
what-
an example of a kid.
what
because
this
who
kid's
knows
doing.
what's seriously actually on there.
Oh,
Yeah, I got to shut down.
epic failure.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know. Error message.
you broke it.
so if I wanted them all onto Moodle, that's where I would go?
You could go there and say, and put the website and you're going to have to do that.
Okay, if I wanted them all to go to pearsonrealize.com, is that the same spot or is
Yep,
that?
yep.
Okay,
Yep, any website's the same way.
okay.
Now that's to make them see yours though. Did you do the one where send the URL to everyone?
Getting there.
Okay, sorry.
Did
And it took a nap on me.
And what is that one? That, the dots?
I don't know. Where did it go? Wait a minute. Hey, Brian, did it just send it over there? Is it over there?
Who's what over there? Oh, is Lane School over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, if you didn't know this, you can hold down the control key and the arrow key is the control.
Windows key.
Windows key, there we go. No, it's not on it though.
Windows or what?
And it will move it.
Trust me, if I don't know it, I can mess it up really good.
There we go.
Okay.
So it's already set to a default to log on. So that's set up to auto log on as a person.
So-
Which one has it?
Yeah, I didn't want that. I can
I hate sitting here looking at it like this because it messes me up.
So that's, let's say a student is somewhere inappropriate and you want to send it to the office before they get off of it.
Yeah.
Is that where you were just on monitor?
Yeah, if you're on this, say like there,
Or you can take a snapshot.
Yeah, let's say that
How do you
student,
do
okay.
that?
yeah, like this particular student here, if I wanted to see what it
That
was
little
that
camera
they have,
icon.
is you take snapshot.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing, oh, snapshot.
He would,
I see,
he just
yeah.
had his mouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
so you
one.
press snapshot and
Mhm.
then what?
It just
And
takes
then-
a picture,
It takes a picture,
Where
which
does it put it?
it saves it, and it just,
it should be in, I believe it might be in your pictures. No,
actually, it's probably on just clipboard.
is it on clipboard?
Yeah, where's,
Well-
Some like virtual space.
Yeah.
well, how can you save it somewhere so you know where it is? Like,
Well, is it to come through
I don't know if
is,
I've ever done that.
because I want to use it in intervention. You know, my classes, I'm on Edpuzzle, so I know exactly where they are on my videos, but this, during intervention, they're all on different things. So, snapshot.
there.
Oh,
It wasn't actually popping up like it's supposed to, but here's where you go. And as you can see here, it says who's on that computer.
okay. Has a timestamp.
All right, yeah, and puts a nice little timestamp on it. So it does all the work for you, and then save as, and then you can pick wherever in the world you want to throw the picture.
Right, but where did you get to that part? How'd you get to
How
that?
did you get
Um,
to save as?
Is
You did
Snapshot.
clicking on snapshot.
But you have to have a student highlighted.
Yeah.
You're basically viewing a student's laptop.
Will this save as come up after you've taken the snapshot or before?
It hasn't taken the snapshot yet.
No.
Oh, okay,
You're just
so
telling
now
them
you
Just
save
where-
it.
like
where
see
to
here,
save it.
yeah. I
So
was
you
like,
want to save it someplace that makes sense,
I'm just gonna throw it on his desktop for the moment.
and it'll save it.
Like that.
Maybe it's because you're doing this remote thing.
Yeah.
Usually it would work.
Usually it does work. I mean, I've
And
done
then
it
it would take the
before.
picture after all that?
Yeah.
It'd save it as a JPEG file.
Okay.
But I mean, if it's something where kids are doing it all the time, you can just limit them.
Yeah.
Don't let them do anything if you want to.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to, you can send a message to them on their computer telling them, hey, I know what you're doing, cut it
That's
out.
under message, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of self-explanatory, but
Yeah.
send message is one way. They can't answer you on that, but if you want to chat,
I think you can, right? You
For
can
chat.
chat with me, can't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
Send me a message. No.
just send message though.
I can
I don't
send.
think-
Do you want me to just send message? Or do you want
If
me
you
to,
send message, I don't think you can
I get
reply.
it pop up here and I get a response screen, don't I?
I can force you to read it.
It means everything stops until they read it.
Yeah. Okay. So all it says is hello. I thought there was one where it
Chat.
actually gave me a chat.
That's
box.
chat.
That's chat. Chat will
Okay.
allow you to respond back,
Okay.
So
and half the time kids think it's some sort of prank or something, and it takes them forever to answer.
so.
But that way you can kind of communicate.
And of course, I mean, as you can see, you get teacher, student. You know, it doesn't say it says who you're in conversation with, but it doesn't bring that name over
Right.
here the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. So if you have it up on your screen, no one knows who you're talking to
Right.
necessarily.
What's the exception of this? Speak.
If you have-
If you
If-
have
if you have microphone.
if you have a microphone, you can speak right there to them. Like if they have headphones on in your class and you want to get their attention. Fun one is if you actually have the microphone, you could actually just move it right towards your speaker while you have that clicked on, and that feedback goes right into their ear. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. It will stop them, but you're talking with students. You can actually listen to students. If your students were able to actually talk to you, but no, I don't think anybody actually does that. Our web limiting, Jonathan, you does this. I've done this, and it's a really good one. You can actually block all the web, just like that, shut everybody down. You can't do anything on any website. Which, in a way, actually does work if you were doing stuff through Moodle, because Moodle's actually internal and you don't have to go away outside to get Moodle. However, I would say probably a better way to do it would be the allow list. And under the allow list on this, all right, if I was to turn this on, it would basically cut him off as to what he could actually do. And I can only show you that. I got to back off of this one.
So allows everybody else to have it, but not him.
Correct.
Well, yeah. So you can basically by saying allow list, this is the only stuff I allow you to interact with.
But it's all students, right?
So you usually need
You could do it for all students, one student, 4 students.
What do you mean allow certain
Need to do
things
your
that you get to?
configure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. You're right. Yeah, if I go here and configure web limiting, the allowed list. So if I'm going with this one, I click on here and I got HTTP:/.
The specific websites
Yeah,
that
specific
you are
ones.
wanting them to be able to access.
And
Okay.
you can get really specific with that. So that you could actually, if you have a link and your link goes to a specific spot, you can put that link in there.
That'd be all they'd be able to go.
Yeah, so that when they do click on it, let's say from Moodle, all right, that's the only place they're going. Which, of course, you have to put Moodle in there first, right? Because otherwise, and you just put the generic part of Moodle in, not the entire long list of it. That way, that
This is an easy one, especially when you've got kids that are getting off task at
Yeah.
YouTube or something. You can just block YouTube.
What's
for
the
them.
most minimum Moodle address that you should put there? Moodle.nationaltrail.us? Would that allow
No,
you
with
that?
K-12 because
K-12.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
K12.nationaltrail.oh.us.
Okay.
yeah.
So, but that would give access to anything on Moodle, unless it goes off-site.
Yes,
Okay.
right. That, I mean, if you just want to keep them, especially
Like
like
taking a
you're
quiz
doing
or-
a quiz or something,
Right.
you don't want them to be able to go anywhere else, and because that's something that, like Jack has brought up in the past, that they'll go, and if he has one,
Yeah.
it's like, well, if I have a quiz, then they can go to some math
Right.
site and look up the answer. I'm like, oh, and I can't. If you
Not if
just
you don't
only
set up.
allow Moodle, then they're not going anywhere else,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, here, go ahead
Because
and
what's
save that.
I was going to
trying
say, what's the error screen or?
I don't know.
what
Let's
is
hear
it?
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't
go ahead
actually, I don't have to save that. I just actually apply it and say okay,
and
because
here, so-
if
and
it's
then
mine,
grab
now
my
I,
screen, Dan, and I'll try to go.
So you can go to Moodle.
yeah, now I'm that allow
Oh,
went for everybody,
You see? Oh, you didn't have it.
and you guys can actually see
Here,
now. It's like,
bring me up.
uh,
I'll show you. I
You went
actually
too fast.
see. I tried to go to Google. I typed in Google.com, and it immediately it says Google up top, and it says following websites are allowed. So it lets me go and click on it. So now I can go there. I go to anywhere inside Moodle, but the minute I try to go anywhere else,
Must be a lag or something.
it immediately blocks me.
There it
again.
is.
I thought you had me up. Why don't you have me up?
It's lagging.
it's a lag.
I
But
don't
see,
know.
if I go for refresh, see, there's where you were, all right, and that's where you can see where he was actually. You can see where he was trying to actually go. All
Can you
right.
bring me up full screen? Just play my screen. That's what I'm saying. Don't do that. Just do the whole
'Cause
thing.
we don't see anything.
Oh, you can't see it.
There's a slight display
I was
issue.
going to say, I don't know.
Okay, sorry. And is that because I'm remoting to the?
I don't know.
Well, if you look over here, as soon as I try to go to it anywhere, it says Land School available websites, and the only thing on that list is Moodle.
Okay.
And then I can click on Moodle from there.
There we
and
go.
And I can do everything Moodle.
All right, now you can actually see it. There's a refreshment issue with it.
Yeah.
All right, at times.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to be a little
Most of the
patient.
time
These
it's live
refreshments?
feed, but
Yeah.
sometimes
It gets a little exhausted. Basically, popping in and out a lot. All right, it's because it's going into the network to go over to that computer,
Yeah, and
and it
just,
does the same thing in your room as well. So
I think that's a great way to keep people from going other places. And
Yeah.
in mine, like some of my tests, you have to go out, but I can list those sites like Newegg. I don't care if they go to Newegg. They're supposed to be going to Newegg for almost every single one of my problems. But I don't want them going to Wikipedia to figure
Right.
out how to, get the answer to a problem.
that's probably what I use
Does that
most.
save then from class to class?
If
Like
you
every-
if you hit save, you can save your lists that are
you can,
Deal.
yeah. Well, you could if you push apply, it'll still be there when your next class comes in. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be on. It's still there in that list. So, like YouTube, you can actually apply it when you want to,
Or you could block it.
yeah. So it depends on which one. Yeah, and you can have it in both lists. So you're like, hey, now you can do this.
It's a great
You
way to
can't
keep
do
them
that.
on task when you, especially when you're trying to do a research project, because you can have Google on, you can have Moodle on, and you can and have the sites that you know are good sites, and say if you need to go someplace that's blocked, just let me know, and then I can put it on the list right then, and they can get to it right then, and then I can watch them.
So
and
if you have
see what's-
google.com as allowable, would that also allow YouTube? Since it's a.
I don't know the answer to that.
'Cause that's what I was wondering. Or do you
No, it
just
should
put
block.
YouTube
It should.
separate?
I have actually YouTube
Well,
on a deny.
hey, block,
and
put on Google and block YouTube, and I'll see.
All right,
Or
which
like-
one? Hey, which one am I? Wait, okay, which one am I
You're
blocking?
So you
Block
have to
YouTube.
Block
configure
YouTube.
first.
And then you're gonna allow the Google up there. where
Oh,
have
can you not do
national
both at the same time? So you can't
That's
do
great.
allow
Oh,
list.
maybe not.
So just do YouTube. Just do YouTube, and I'll see if I can get to Google.
All right, I'm gonna block YouTube.
Okay.
So I can get to Google now. So I'm going to try to get to YouTube.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you can still do Google stuff.
Yeah, so I Googled it.
So you can
I
see it.
Googled
Yeah.
YouTube, found a YouTube video, clicked on the YouTube video, and it
Yeah, we'll
immediately
let you
blocked
go.
me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you could actually. Well, I was like, you could sit there at the preview screen at Google
Right.
and watch that. I don't know,
That'll go.
3 seconds of
Little
people
tiny
moving.
things
A
that-
little blip it.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I'll get into music or whatever, you know.
So the big thing with Land School is don't be afraid to use it, and make sure you release your classes at the end. Not a factor for middle school, only a factor for high school. So you want me to show you how I do my class lists?
Oh yeah,
Did you select YouTube and that blocked it? That's all you did was type in YouTube?
YouTube.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now another part though is that you can actually also is one thing you're probably going to use a good deal is that if you have to stop them from working on a computer to give them instruction is to go to the blank screen manager or message here, configure it. You can come up with a whole bunch of different ones. The default one here is eyes to the front of the class, please. So okay, like this. If I actually wanted to do this, I could actually click off of that one. Sorry. Is under this one is to blank the screens. So I pick that, all of them, and
now
they'll all
everybody
flip
sees
to that.
message. See the message on mine. It says eyes to the front of the classroom, please.
Now
And no one in the class can use their computer
Yeah, it's
until you
basically
put
locked out.
they can hear though. So if they have anything that's
YouTube
audio that's running in it, they can hear it. So if you're wanting both, then all you have to do then is once this one's done is to go over and pick mute, and it will mute all the computers or just the ones that you want. So if you know if you come back here and you see that it's checked, if little Mr. Poole here just can't stop rocking, and boom, now he can stop
I
rocking.
never even thought
'cause-
about that because I've got students who won't turn off their speakers sometimes when I say, "Hey, put your headphones on." I could
So
just
how do you
mute 'em.
select more than just one?
Oh, to select more than just one is you already have, let's say,
Just
tools.
control.
Yeah, is hold down the control
Okay.
and then pick the ones you want,
I thought maybe you could.
and then I can come up here.
You probably can't.
Now wait,
know.
so I
I
can,
tried.
when
Yeah.
they're on Edpuzzle, listen to my lesson. Sometimes I'll try to listen to music, so
You can't really.
can't really control that.
Oh,
can
Yeah,
I?
just block
Yeah,
everything
you
out,
would
block
basically have to
YouTube.
block YouTube.
Except for the
YouTube.
Ed puzzle usually is pointing to YouTube, so it wouldn't work.
Mm.
I mean, I don't think an Ed puzzle that you Ed puzzle the YouTube video would work if you had the YouTube block.
Now you could get crafty if you have a particular person you're willing to work a little bit to make a point of. Find the video that they're actually going to, and block just that video.
Because you can see where they're at, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you could just copy and paste that one URL.
If you change your view over to details on here, you could actually see, this is where he was, the last application that he was actually on the last website.
There's something else they go to get to music. I forget what it is.
Yeah,
Probably Groove Shark, and you can block that too. I mean, if it's a
Find out what it
website,
is. They tell me what it is.
you could actually, if you want to, you can block them from getting on Word. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can do it. It's like that kid gets on Word every day.
Always
Block
type
them.
it.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't think
stop
that's
it.
probably gonna be a problem.
Yeah, probably not a problem, but it's something you can work with. Before I get back to Brian, is that would be in your apps, the allow and so forth. Those ones would actually be the.
So if you went on the
Word,
allow
Excel.
list, you could say Chrome and Word, and they wouldn't be able to open anything else.
Yeah.
If you had the allow list. So
Yeah.
if you say you're doing a research paper or a project, a PowerPoint, you could say PowerPoint in Chrome.
Yeah, and this is something you're going to build over time to where you find out exactly what kind of setup works best for your room and on which conditions. And at times are you going to probably put too much control on top of them? Yeah, but
So if I just wanted to allow the video on Edpuzzle, am I gonna have to go get the link from, I've got it so they go through the code.
Through
I'm gonna have to
Moodle.
go to YouTube and find the link.
You're gonna have to find. Well, I mean, the link to the Edpuzzle is a link too. You've embedded the link,
Yeah.
so you just probably need to get that and put it in there. But yeah, that would be. I think that would be a lot. Well,
That'd be
say
complicated.
yes to. Well, no, you can't say yes to one and no to the other one. If you say, go ahead and say.
you could say
Go say no to YouTube, and I'll go to one of my Edpuzzles and see if Edpuzzle somehow doesn't, fit.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on a second.
You gotta un-ice from me here.
No, he's still got YouTube blocked.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I've got
if you
like.
have
Undo blank
Hold on a
screen.
second. Yeah.
Teacher, I can't do any of my stuff.
Shut it up, you punk. All right. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into.
Well, that was therapeutic. Yeah. All right, now wait. Hold on a second, there, Chief. What am I blocking? you
Yeah,
from?
just YouTube.
Nothing.
Just
Yeah, you're good.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if Edpuzzle works when YouTube is blocked.
Well, I don't have the block list on, so.
There you go. I just know
And
YouTube.
I have to remember something that there's no Edpuzzles in chapter 3. I have to think. Or I've got an Edpuzzle.
And if you're not sure what you're
There's an
doing,
Edpuzzle.
you can always
Okay.
have like a volunteer student that you can experiment on.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess up somebody's computer or something.
Yeah.
You, seriously,
Hey,
you'll
hey,
find.
hey, I'm gonna mess with your computer in just a few seconds.
Yeah.
Letting you know,
Okay.
test something out on you.
So now, you can't get to it.
You cannot.
I just
Okay.
logged into Edpuzzle and then it knocked me out.
All right.
So you
But-
can't get YouTube, which I would have assumed.
Here's the question: is flip it on its ear, though. Take off the YouTube blocker and put the allow for only that one.
Yeah, I'm sure that would work.
That would actually work.
Yeah.
So yes, you could
You
still
just have
have
to
your
go
Ed
to
Puzzle
YouTube.
up, but you'd have to have your National Trail one up
That
as
gets,
well.
yeah, that gets pretty sophisticated
Yeah.
But
Okay.
for most people.
Spotlight, that's what I listen to.
Oh,
Spotlight?
No, Spotify.
Oh, Spotify. Okay, well, we're
Yeah.
almost out of time, Dan.
Okay.
How about I do the
So can
class
you block
list?
Spotify?
Just
Do
miss
Yeah.
a class,
How about you do that?
I'll do the
I
class
block
list.
or make a
Spotify?
class list.
I just put block Spotify?
So,
Spotify.com, I believe it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So I gotta show how I do it, and if anybody has a better way, because Deb Tinsman had some way that she did it that seemed easier, and I can't remember how she did it, so unfortunately Deb's not here.
hover
over a kid,
you can see what the name
So there's two ways you can do. You can do it dynamically, and that's the first way I want to show you. So if I want to go one-to-one, and I want to say
This is for high school only.
high school only, yeah, you would not need to do it for anyone
So
else.
you go administer one-to-one.
Yeah, so I'm going to say manage class list, and I'm going to say browse for students by the student name. Now, there's not going to be anybody probably right now. Oh, there's a whole bunch. So I could go through and say, she's in my class, he's in my class, she's in my class, and add them. That's the dynamic way. And
They
it's
have
going
to be on your channel.
no, they don't have to be on your channel. That's
Okay.
everybody.
Okay.
When I do that,
Anybody that can
that's
find.
everybody, which is
And then when
it,
you do that, you
that's what I'm saying. See, it says channel 19, channel 20.
So
It shows
anybody that
everybody on there.
Is on
The only
that
thing
computer.
that is can be monotonous.
That's- yeah.
I don't
Especially if you-
necessarily like that way, but it's a quick and easy way. If you got 4 kids in your room, just
If you
jick,
have
jick,
big
jick.
classes,
And you can
like-
search, right? So I can say,
You have to save
I
it
can
something?
say Dan down here, and now I got all the Dan people with that in their name. So I mean, I can search for it, and then I just click and then I hit add, and now they're on the list. And once I have it all done, I can save that list. So I'd hit save as and call it, round 3 or whatever. That's one way to do it. The other way requires to be a little bit more tech savvy, but it's not that bad. So I'm going to go into my Moodle classroom. And this is how I do it. There may be a better way, but I'm going to tell you how I do it. I go to my grade book, and I'm going to act like I'm going to export my grades. Okay? And I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to pick none. So I'm going to export none of
You
my
want
grades.
Excel spreadsheet?
Okay? Oh, it doesn't matter. No matter what way I open it up, I'm going to get it to pop that. And that's one of the reasons I'm going to do it here in Firefox, because Firefox just boom opens up. So now I've got the email addresses right here. It doesn't want email addresses, by the way.
Wait, time out.
I just went too fast.
Yeah, you did. I don't know.
Okay,
how
I'll
this
start all
popped up.
over. I'll start all over.
Wait, let me say
Well,
it. So you go to Gradebook,
Yeah.
go to
Gradebook.
Export.
Yeah.
I go to export, and I
then you
go,
go to the
all the
bottom.
way to the bottom because I'm not
Says
really trying to
none.
get grade. I select none, and I say download.
Yeah, you don't
Okay.
want actually grades.
Yeah, I don't
you
want
just
any
the
grades.
list.
I just want the list of the students. So I end up with this.
And that's what it gives you?
Yeah.
This is what it gives me. Okay, everybody get their student
And it'll be on
list.
an Excel file?
So, but I don't want the Excel file. Okay, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go and say, where's my?
It'll be
Oh,
on
I didn't
top
say
row.
enable. Sorry, got to enable editing. Yes. What?
You had 2 open.
I did
Yeah.
what?
You had 2 open.
Yeah, one read only.
Oh, okay. Go away from me. There we go. Can I do it now?
I don't know what you have open in.
I don't either. I can delete it. Okay, there we go. So I just want their usernames. So I'm going to do a control find.
No, Control H. That takes you straight to the replacement one.
Didn't know that.
Watch.
I'm
No,
already
what?
here.
Hit Control H.
Okay,
And put. No.
I'm still going to be the same place. Okay, control H.
Thank you.
I would have just clicked on the one tab.
I just
Okay.
taught you something.
So I'm going to
At
put in
nationaltrail.us.
nationaltrail.us.
Replace all.
And then replace all. So now, as soon as I do that, this now becomes a list of usernames instead of a list of email addresses.
This
You
is also how
did it
you.
fast again because I've been through this 3 times.
This is
Go ahead.
also how you can import grades too.
So find what?
Control
Put
at nationaltrail.us, because see, this is their email. So I'm just going to strip that off the end of their email address, because their email is their username at nationaltrail.us, and Land School wants the username. So now I've got this list. I can just copy this right there and go back to Land School, and I can go administer 1-to-1, manage class list, and I can say import students. Oh wait, no wait. Do I
I was
have
gonna
to
say,
save
can
it
you
first?
just do Control C? I thought you have to import. You have to get rid of all that other junk.
So,
So you did
Right?
manage.
You're going to import a CSV.
do I have to save it first?
Yeah,
Do I?
yeah, you gotta get rid
I
of
thought
everything.
I swear
Strip
that
everything else off.
when
of
Deb
it.
and I did it, we just pasted the class list straight into something.
No way.
We did.
I
I
don't
swear.
know how to do that.
Login
I've
name.
always had to do a CSV and import the CSV.
We just pasted something in somewhere, made it so easy. I don't know how we did it.
You
We
need to
did not
remember.
save
You
anything.
need to remember.
I know. Isn't that terrible? I don't think that was it. Nope. I just did that one,
That's
didn't
not
I?
it. That's where you search. Have you
Nope.
tried that?
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna say you must be right. I thought
When you remember, let me know, because that would be a lot faster.
because she did it really easy. It was really easy. Okay, so I'll finish what we were doing.
Well, what was that?
So I've got this. I'm just going to delete everything else. So it's
Basically,
just
you
this.
just want the
Oh
student
wait, so you're
IDs.
not going back to the minister managed class list?
Well, we are in a second. Because we have to save this as a file. So I'm just going to say
Okay,
file. Actually, I'll use this save as button here. So all I've got is my list. Save as. I'm going to put it on my desktop and call it Orange 2. Because that's what they are. Save it as a CSV. So I'm just orange. Orange 2. There we go. So I'm just going to save it as Orange 2. Yeah, I want to keep it the way it is. And then I'm going to go over here and do what I just said. Administer 1-to-1. Manage class lists. And I'm going to say import students. I'm going to pick that file I just saved, Orange 2. What just happened?
I don't know. should have pulled it in.
Why is it still there? Why is it still blinking?
What just
Yeah.
happened there?
Oh, it would awesomely work if there was actually a kids actively out there, right?
Load class list.
No, I don't think so. Although I can just load that. That was one of the things that Deb showed me. Maybe that's what Deb showed me. That I just went to that and she just clicked on Orange 2 and it just loaded those kids up. And she did it like that. Is it because they're not here? Is that why it's not working?
It should. You still have.
Because I thought when I did that, I'm going back to my class list. That should have worked, by the way. She just had it saved as a CSV and opened it straight from there, and they came right up.
Yeah, but they're not going to come up right now
Is that the
because
only
they're
reason?
not here.
So if I go to manage class list, but I should still be able to
You have
import
to
them
do
and see
it.
their
I won't
names.
be doing it when I have students in the class. I'll be doing it when they're not there.
Well, yeah, you want to do it. You want to do it before,
Right.
But I'm telling you, this is usually their names just show up.
Yeah.
Why? Why is their name?
I don't know. Is the Excel? Did you save it, or is it like
I certainly
hanging?
thought I did.
Orange 2 CSV. Yes.
Is it because it was still open there? Because that's
It
open.
acted like it didn't have anything to pull.
Okay, it's because the file was still open. That's the way it's supposed to work. I'm supposed to just see all my class names
Wait,
and
administer one-to-one, manage class list, import students.
yeah, I import students, and then I usually go down here and save this file as then
And then
Orange
they just
2.
show up once you do import students?
Yeah, and then I change that. Yeah, all their names just show up, and I save this as Orange 2, and now or ANGE2. I can
Because
do
you're
it.
basically pulling in the list of students, and then now you want to save that class.
That's
so you don't
now
have
a
to do
class
that over
list,
and over and over
right?
and over.
So now I never have to do that again. Now when I go administer one-to-one, I'll hit load class list,
Yeah.
and then I'll pick Orange 2, and all their computers would just show up on there like that.
Like that.
Yep. There's a lot of
So-
prep work, but
But you
then
only
once
do
you
it
got
once.
all
Well,
set,
you have to only do it 6 times.
whatever class you have.
So,
But then once you have
Oh,
it set
cool.
up,
right?
I'm trying to do that. other way.
Well, not a, okay. You do it for her. She only has to do it 6 times a year, and then all your
Yeah.
people just show up, right? So, I do want to, because we're really done time-wise. I want to point out one other thing: the students sign an agreement that say we can put Land School on their devices. So we don't have to. But if you have a student that you're like, I'm always telling him to get on task because he's got to bring your own device. All you have to do is say you have to go see Mr. Poole during lunch or during intervention, or he's going to block your network access. And you email me and say, please block Jonathan Bryant's network access unless he gets Land School on it. So then he comes in, I add Land School on his machine, I log him onto the network, and if you say, hey, you deleted Land School, which you'll be able to, no, you have to have the original installation file to delete Land School. You just can't delete Land School.
Right.
So he'd have to have
You-
my
you
installation
have
file.
to
I don't think
yeah.
he can. I don't think he can
so
uninstall
once
it.
it's on there,
Once it's on
but
there,
it's
on.
voluntary.
What?
I mean, if it's bring your own device, they
Just
don't.
bring your
have
own device. They
Land
have
School.
to if we say so.
Okay,
The thing they
Correct.
signed said, I understand. I'll
but
have
they don't have to have it
No.
unless we say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's up to you as a teacher. If you want Jonathan to have Land School, you just say, hey, Jonathan, I need you to go over there and get Land School on your machine before tomorrow. And if he
they
doesn't,
say
you tell
no,
me, and I'll block him
Right.
from the internet, and then it won't be an issue because he won't be on the internet until he gets Land School on his
Eventually,
machine.
you'll want it back.
That pool guy's got it in for you, man.
So every year I say I'm going to block them all, but I never get around to it.
So can we just do the little thing at the bottom to get on this tomorrow? Now
Yes.
that we've come to
Yeah,
this class?
once he
Yes.
has-
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, literally all. I mean, it's really easy to add you to the
I probably use it the most during intervention
That's when I think I will too.
because
They're
most of the time they're not
watching
doing stuff that they should,
Yeah.
or they're just goofing off, watching videos and stuff. So
Well, I can do the same
Just
stuff
block
with
it.
Desmos and stuff, so they're connected to me on that other stuff.
that's true.
Well,
Everything
and
else-
the good thing about Sharon, I think you're already on it,
I
right?
believe so, yes.
Yeah, you're already on it. Okay, so that's it. It'll work on your machine now. The only other thing I should point out is if it's not already down here on your machine, all you have to do is go down here and type LAN school like we did, and it will show LAN. I'm having digit problems. Just hit LAN school teacher and it'll be up.
Can you pin that to your taskbar if you
Yes,
right
you
click?
certainly can. You
I
just
think
have
it's
to go
already-
down
I
here
was gonna say, it's usually down there.
and pin to taskbar. It's because you have an auto starting. That's what I was going to say. If you hit
Down, right.
Control to delete and go to Task Manager, under the startup things, LAN School is right on there somewhere. It's made by Stoneware. There we go. Mine's disabled. It doesn't auto start, and all of them are disabled by default. All you have to do is right click and say Enable, and now it'll be down at the bottom right hand corner every single time you turn on your
Where'd
computer.
you go to do that?
I'll show you again. So I hit Control to delete.
Control, Alt, Delete?
Yeah, and I go to Task Manager, and yours will look like, uh,
Mine looks like that.
how do I make it minimized again? Oh, okay. Yours will look like this, and you have to go down here and hit More Details,
Okay.
and then you can go to Startup. You find LAN School, you right click, and you enable it. I'm disabling mine again.
Start up.
I don't like the
LAN
things
School.
opening unless I want them open.
Right
So I
click
don't have it
there.
on
Okay.
Start. So just makes, if I'm not going to use it, why would I want it open?
He's a control.
Yeah, okay, you can say that if you want to. So, anyways, that's it. That's our introduction to LAN School. The big thing here now is I've got these kids captured. When I'm done, I have to release them. So I go through class list and dismiss current class. Okay, that's the big thing. Because what I've done when I load this class list, just so you know, when I load this class list, I have taken all of them and changed their channel to 203. It just forced them all to be on my channel,
Yeah.
and now they can't be on Jonathan's channel. So when I dismiss the class list, they all go back to their regular channels, which is why they disappear, and then Jonathan can get them.
Which is the channel that
They're on with their.
Yeah.
their graduation.
Here.
Yes. I mean, if I just wanted to see all seniors, I could look at channel 19, and I'm not going to hurt anything because I'm not changing them. I'm just observing.
Oh, you can see what all they're on?
Yeah.
But you can see all of them that are not currently
Currently grabbed by somebody
grabbed by
else.
some of the teachers.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, because they're.
He's not going to actually pull. Well, if he made a class list that was built off that,
Yeah, that would be bad.
don't.
Yeah,
do
I would
that.
pull it in there. So
'Cause
the
then
big
he'll
thing
come
is
visit you.
that's the biggest thing for high school
So
teachers
you
is
can't
making sure you
steal,
dismiss it.
you can't steal kids over from anybody else.
I don't think so. I don't think he'll
so
release
either.
them. Once they're Dan's until Dan dismisses them, which has been the
I've
issue when somebody like that, their
I
computer's
was gonna say,
not on my
I haven't
thing.
had that issue in several years because I don't think many of the high school staff use it.
I don't think so either. I will tell you, my personal thing is that when I do use it, it's not even an active thing the way Dan does.
Right.
If I say we're doing research, I just throw that class list up there while I'm talking to them, and they all police each other
Yep.
right there because
I've
they
done
know
that too.
everybody can see what everybody else is doing in the whole
Oh.
class,
Yeah.
and it keeps them on task.
So
Yeah.
you put it up.
I just put it up there,
Okay.
and I walk
Yeah.
around class, answer questions, whatever. I don't even normally have to look.
Well,
Or if they
I
know-
use it because I have kids that'll be like, how do I do this? I don't understand this part. And then I jump into their computer, show them where to go. And they go, thank you, back out. And so I basically do a walk around the room from my computer
Yeah.
so that my room is not good for walking through. And
It's kind of broken
someone
up.
my
Yeah.
size,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, it's better, I could just click straight over their computer, interact, and then back out again, in and out.
Okay.
Yeah. It's useful.
Thanks.
Useful.